Chinese visas, I got a comment from Chaotic Storm 911 saying, you know, do you plan on staying long term in China? And I mean, it's ridiculous. You can't get a permanent residency, even if you've lived there for many years and honestly vetted. What are your thoughts on that? Well, Mr. Chaotic Storm, I think your thinking is definitely the common way of thinking. But the truth is what you're saying is not necessarily true. You can gain permanent residency here. Holy shit. You can. Actually, I know 3 people that have permanent residency here in Guangzhou. So I know that it does happen other places besides just Guangzhou, obviously. It doesn't just happen here. But I do know 3 people. And I think the situation with permanent residency is not that it's just so impossible. It's just that most people don't care to. There's not a lot of advantages to having it. And a lot of times the requirement is just more than people are willing to put in. Actually, the way that it works for China visas is kind of like this. You have your step 1, which is like your people that are just here as a tourist. They have no residency, right? You have literally no rights here, essentially. You're kind of at the will of whatever, right? You have no residency. So those kind of people, those people that are working illegally, those loser teachers that work illegally, they don't have any residency. They're tourists, right? The next step is going to be like your work visa, your business visa. This is me, the business visa. I have a 1-year temporary residency permit, right? And basically every year I have to renew this visa. Not a visa, I mean I have to renew that too, but my residency permit has to be renewed every single year. But there are some advantages. It is a step above nothing, right? So it is worth getting. The next step is like a driver's license. You know, a lot of people are like, well, man, I don't want to drive in China anyways. You know, I have a car, so I like driving. So for me, getting that business visa was important. I mean, obviously because I have a business, but driving was important to me. I felt like I wanted to do something in China besides just, teach a giraffe English. I wanted to be a real person here in China. I didn't want to give up everything in my life that I enjoyed doing, and one of them was driving, having a vehicle. So that's what I did. When I had my business visa, I said I'm going to get my license. So I went and got my Chinese driver's license, and I had to come up with a Chinese name, and that's what I did. So it is a step, right? It's not just legality. You are a step towards becoming more a Chinese, essentially, right? And of course, you can get permanent residency. The main thing that I would say to get up here to permanent residency for probably 99% of people is going to be through getting married, obviously. As an example, if you are in the CBA, basketball, right? Can you get, permanent residency, without being married? Yeah, of course you can. They could give it to you, but that is not the case for 99.9% of people. Most people that get it do get it through getting married, quite obviously. And there are advantages that come to that, but requirements. One of the requirements is you have to provide 3 years of taxes, show that you've been paying taxes here in China for 3 years. That is important because I know a lot of these teachers work here illegally and they don't get paid necessarily through a bank. And their taxes are not paid. Maybe their companies, because they're not legal, don't pay their taxes for them. That happens too. And when they go to be more serious here in China after they've been here for a while, they find that they can't because either A, their company didn't pay their taxes for them because they worked illegally, or B, they just knew it and took the money anyway. So if you are a foreigner and you want to live here long term, start paying your damn taxes. Contribute to China. Give something back to China. This is not your home country. Don't just take shit. Pay your taxes, damn it. And the other situation for that is you have a lot of foreigners that have been here a long time have what's called the 5-year rule, And the 5-year rule means that you won't even be considered for your green card unless you've been here for 4 out of 5 years. So you've had to pay taxes for 3 years and you have to be here for like 5 years. Then they will actually consider you. And the other thing is to remember is that just because you get a green card here doesn't mean that they can't revoke it. They can revoke it if, say, you have it and you don't do anything here for 5 years, if you're gone, you know, you're not here for 5 years, they can revoke your green card. That's one of the reasons that the 5-year rule is so important. Another thing about the 5-year rule is that whenever you go, like let's say that you get your spousal visa, you know, and you want to get a work visa, you need to switch to a work visa or a business visa. When you do that, you have to get a criminal background check. That's what I had to do here, was get a criminal background check. And for that, if you've been here for 5 years, if you've been married for 5 years, you don't have to do that. They say, well, you've been here long enough, we know you're not a crazy psycho, and you don't have to do the criminal background check. So getting your work visa, your business visa is quite a bit easier, because anyone that has ever had to get their background check here in China, from China, through China, essentially it is a pain in the ass. It is not easy. So that's another major advantage. The third thing, and again, this is why I think a lot of people don't actually go for the green card, because a lot of these things might not be important to these people. It might not be important to you that you can drive a car and have a driver's license. The other situation is owning property. I actually own my property here. Though the apartment that we live in, I own that. You know, we paid a lot of money for that thing. For the rental property that is also here, we paid a lot of money for that thing, right? But it's in my girlfriend's name. It is not in my name, right? It cannot be legally in my name. The business is in my girlfriend's name and my name, because that's a little different. I can actually have a business here, but she has to have majority ownership in that business. Real estate, I cannot. I can't own real estate or property here in China. Once you get your green card, you definitely can. You can actually do a lot more. You can invest in the stock market directly here. You can invest as a foreigner in the stock market indirectly, but to do it directly through the markets and through a brokerage and everything, you need to have that green card. And a lot of things here in China that Chinese people can do, like entering and exiting China with an ID card that they have, you can do that once you get a green card. So it's just a major advantage if you're a big player in the game here in China. You know, if you're a small timer, play your part, son. Just teach your English and be done with it, right? No reason to get your green card, you know. It's not really that important for you. So it kind of just depends. So can you get a green card? Of course you can. It just takes time, and a lot of people don't care about it that much. So yeah, just keep all your stuff straight. Pay your taxes here, damn it. Pay your taxes. Do everything right and get your green card. And that's basically the way that it works. I want to thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Patreon. I had another Patreon follower. I'm sorry that you had donated to me on Patreon after I made my appreciation video. Sorry about that. I'll get you next month, I promise. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.